name is John Cutler, and I'm a certified FocalPoint business coach and franchisee owner of FocalPoint Business Coaching Alberta, where our proven curriculum is powered by the excellence of Brian Tracy. I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives to help them achieve their personal and business goals faster than they ever thought possible. Each week, I share some of the incredible FocalPoint material, which is world-class, that the coaches around the world use with their clients. These are time-tested and proven strategies that, when applied to your business, will result in incredible improvements to your time, team, profitability, and exit strategy. I'll also be interviewing a different business owner each week, and with the help of my fellow FocalPoint colleagues, we'll be helping them through an issue that they're currently facing within their business. It's a great opportunity to witness what business coaching is all about. Last week, we talked about the importance of the DISC assessment in the session Know Thyself. This week, we're going to be turning the lens on your business in a session called Know Thy Business. So Evan, if you could cue up the PowerPoint presentation, we're going to provide some great information for the viewers out there. And so grab a pen and paper or take some notes on your computer, because here we go. So Know Thy Business. And advance the slide, if you could, Evan. Regular monitoring of key performance measures in your business is a key to growing your revenues and increasing your profitability. Without such a reality check, you are flying blind, with no way of knowing if you're on the right flight path or which appropriate corrective actions to take if you're not. We call these measurements metrics. And as a FocalPoint coach and the FocalPoint coaches around the world, we use 4 classes of metrics. Number 1 are result indicators, or RIs, and they show what or how your business has done over a given period of time. Number 2 are performance indicators, or PIs. They tell you what to do, what adjustments need to be made. Number 3 are key result indicators, or KRIs, and these really narrow the field of RIs down to those that are deemed critical in measuring the success of your business. And number 4 are key performance indicators, or KPIs. These tell you what to do in order to dramatically improve the performance of your company. So a little bit more about result indicators. These can be financial or non-financial. They're often measured and reported at a regular, predetermined interval, such as daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly. They cannot be tied to a single activity or specific team. And these RIs, they show results only. That is a snapshot of how your business has performed, but they do not lead directly to decisions as to what to do in order to achieve different results. Performance indicators, or PIs, these are non-financial only, so that means they're not measured in dollars. They're measured and reported at regular predetermined intervals, just like the RIs, so daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly. They result from a single activity that's the responsibility of a specific team. So you can see how these are really important. They tell you what immediate action is required to improve performance. And this action is understood by all team members. So the importance of communication comes up. We discussed that last week. Key result indicators. They can be financial or non-financial. They're measured mainly monthly, quarterly, or even annually. And they summarize the progress in one of a business's critical success factors. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. A KRI is also the result of many activities. For example, sales are the result of marketing, product quality, record of customer service, etc. And they normally show a trend. They show results only, a snapshot of how your business has performed, but do not lead directly to decisions as to what to do in order to achieve different results. It's more like the 30,000-foot view. Okay, and here's some examples of some key result indicators. If your critical success factor is based on marketing, it might be prospects in the pipeline, it might be your cost per prospect, it might be your conversion rate. If your critical success area is sales, maybe it's the number of meetings that are set, or the average meetings till you close the deal, or the cost of client acquisition. If it's customer service, maybe it's the number of complaints or complaints per key customer, or complaints per key product. Other categories that could qualify as your critical success areas are operations, administration, manufacturing, purchasing, distribution, legal, IT, plant, and equipment. I'm zipping through this because we have a lot of coaching to do today. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, again, they're non-financial only, so these are not measured in dollars or any other currency. They're measured frequently. It could be hourly, it could be daily, it could be weekly. And this measures the factors beneath your key result indicators. KPIs are the result of a single activity that's the responsibility of one specific person or team. It shows activity in real time or close to real time, plus the contact person that's responsible, and it may include trends. And here's the most important one. They tell you what immediate action is required to dramatically improve your performance, and this action is understood by all team members. So here are the action exercises that I want you to perform on your own business. And don't do it tomorrow, start today. Number 1, identify 3 of the most important critical success areas in your business. As I mentioned before, it could be sales, marketing, customer satisfaction, technology, operations, etc. So identify 3 of the most important ones. Second exercise, define 3 key result indicators under each critical success area. And in each case, choose at least one that's non-financial. Okay? And the third, define at least one key performance indicator. Set acceptable limits of performance and indicate the person responsible for its achievement. If you're a mom and pop shop, you might be the person responsible for it. But at least set those acceptable limits and start working on them. Okay, so welcome back. And now, as we get into the second portion of our show, I'd like to introduce Shey Hennig, and I just have to find her bio here. Shey started with Primerica in December of 2007 on a part-time basis, and in May of 2008 she went full-time. In June of 2009 she qualified to be a regional vice president with Primerica, which is an amazing feat. In January of 2011 she was invited onto the Women of Primerica Advisory Board, which is a great honor. Welcome, Shey Hennig.
Thank you.
And she has the dubious honor of being my first client. Wow. Okay. I'd also like to welcome, as part of our FocalPoint panel, Mr. Mark Lindsay. And he operates right out of my neck of the woods here in Edmonton, Alberta. Mark, through 20 years of experience in industry, he's developed a passion for continuous growth and development. Some of the key performance areas that Mark has demonstrated proficiency in include team leadership and management, team culture, growth and development, coaching and mentoring. Welcome to you, Mark. Thanks for being here. And of course, we have returning for his second engagement, Mr. Hugh Taffel. And he was a FocalPoint certified business coach and online social media marketing consultant based in the mountain resort community of Canmore, Alberta. He works with business owners and professionals on how to best use the powerful new online and mobile marketing tools and platforms so they get more leads, customers, and profits. Hugh offers a free white paper on how businesses are using the new internet marketing platforms to acquire customers, and that can be found at www.taffelmarketing.com. Wonderful. So,
Morning.
Shey,
Morning.
how are you?
I'm fantastic. It's
Good.
such an honor to be here.
Well, thank you for coming. So I'm just going to start right into it with this line of questioning. Shey, what's keeping you awake at night?
Oh, John, that is a great question. And I am awake at night, trust me. What's keeping me awake really, truly is just that burning desire inside of me to be great, to be somebody. I always say God didn't make no junk. and it's in us to be great. So that's what keeps me up.
Excellent. Now, when we started way back in 2009, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you have rated your progress on where you wanted to go with your business?
Well, when we started, I would have considered myself, a 2, 3. The desire was there, but I didn't really know what to do to move forward, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where are you now?
7, 8. I mean, you were instrumental certainly in what I was able to accomplish. Absolutely. The coaching was fantastic.
Well, thanks.
You're
Appreciate that. Now, in terms of current constraints or issues that have come up in your business, which is maybe inhibiting you from being a 9 or a 10, what's happening in your business that we can share with the FocalPoint panel, and we're going to try and help you through this.
Awesome. That's great. You know, truly, I would have to say, for me in my business, and I hope others can relate, it's, you know, just when you think that you've got it going on, just when you're just starting to explode and great things are happening, your best person quits. You know, something takes place in your life, an issue, something, and you feel pushed right back down to the start.
Right.
So for me, it would be that, you know, being able to keep my head on straight and moving forward. How to do that daily, on a daily basis.
Right. So I'll just reiterate that. It sounds to me like we're talking about the mental attitude. How do you keep that positivity to move yourself forward? Coaches, Mark and Hugh, I think this might be a really good opportunity to pull out the victor-victim slide. What do you think?
Keep it above the line.
Ideas.
Okay.
Always useful.
Okay. So Evan, I'll ask you to pull that up. It's called "We Always Have a Choice," and we'll work through this one together because I think this is very valuable information. I know that the clients that I work with, a lot of them actually have put this slideshow. If you could start to advance it, Evan, that'd be great. They've actually, I've emailed this to them, and basically they frame it and put it up on their wall as a reminder. So what you're looking at now is that line represents problems and challenges, and below the line we have a very disparate looking individual. Keep advancing, Evan. Okay, and you'll notice the body language bends, and so this person is called the victim. And how they deal with problems and challenges when they're below the line, they blame. There we go. They blame. They provide excuses to their situation. They're negative. They're often in denial, and they have scarcity thinking. And scarcity thinking is simply the woe is me attitude. Now let's look above the line. We have somebody who's looking a lot more happy and strong. This is the victor, and the victor has nothing to prove. Reason being, they're proactive, they're responsible, they take ownership when things go sideways, they're visionary, and they strive for excellence always. And keep advancing, Evan. Perfect. The victim, these are failure magnets, and we've all heard of the law of attraction. The law of attraction works in the other direction as well. And so it's really important to keep that positive mindset, because when you are a victor, you are an opportunity seeker, and you become more aware of those opportunities that are around you, and success will follow. So don't be a victim. Coaches on the panel, do you have any? Did I miss anything on that?
Well, one of the biggest things is the line between, and the outcome is determined by our response to the initial event. So in every instance where there's a challenge or an issue, or the word I hate to use, problem is thrown at us, we have the choice of determining what that outcome is.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Mark. Hugh, how about you?
Well, this is a really great, it's a great tool for, I mean, I use it with my clients all the time, actually, and I use this picture. Or we have a saying, and this happens with everyone, it's natural. We get, life is full of curveballs constantly, and that's just the way it is. And it's how we deal with those curveballs is what makes the difference. So I'll often have a conversation right off the get-go with in a client meeting, and he or she will be saying, oh, you know, I've got this, and this happened, and that happened. So they didn't get the stuff they wanted to get done. In other words, the most important things that they knew they needed to get done to reach, so that they can reach their long-term goal. And so I'll just sort of smile. I'm listening, and I'll just smile and go, and then say, so are we above the line or below the line right now, Mr. Client?
Yeah. Absolutely. And Shey has certainly heard that from me over our meetings. And really providing this power principle, and that's what we call them at FocalPoint. It's a really a foundational principle that gives us the right to say, are you feeling above the line or below the line? And our responsibility as a coach really is to bring our clients up over the line, because that's where solutions happens, and that's where we're able to move the business forward. So this is a great reminder, Shey. Maybe you could share with us, the reason that we had to bring this up. Anything happened? Well, we spoke off camera, of course, so I know what the issue is, and we're talking about the issue of clawbacks within the business of Primerica, and that's just part of the reality of hiring recruits below you. Could you share a little bit about that situation with us, because I know all of Primerica, this happens from time to time.
Yeah. It's part of. I mean, there is no business greater. I absolutely love the company and love what it stands for and what we do for people, changing lives every day. But that is a part of it, and unfortunately, if somebody doesn't have a strong character, or, they're one of those people that something happens and then, I'm done, that's unfortunate, because something that small can push people out of the business.
Right.
And those people potentially could be great, unbelievable people, that could help and change thousands of lives. So you don't want to see that happen. You don't want to see those people give up so easily.
Right.
And I love this because, and I'm going to get you to email that to me, actually. And I love how one of the coaches, Hugh, I think, said, that he shows that to his people all the time, and to say to them, we really do have a choice. This is going to happen. It happens to all of us in business, and at that point, right, we have a choice to either, suck it up and move forward and take responsibility and ownership for that, or become a victim.
Right.
I love that. I absolutely love that. But it is a day-to-day part of business,
right, and
it's going to happen. And how do you deal with it is the question. And what a great answer. I love that.
And also, I mean, if there's anything that you can do to help limit your risk when you bring on a recruit or a new employee for other business owners out there in other industries, Mark, can you think of any tool or thought process that could be utilized in this case to help limit that type of risk, to maybe better prepare the business owner for employees?
Well, thank you, John. There are a number of tools and ideas out there. One of the first that comes to mind is using some aspect or assessment tool to determine how the person likes to communicate or what their motivation is. And some of the tools that I've seen include DISC, which is a 4-quadrant assessment. And there's also a personal attitudes, interests, and values assessment, which, if they're in alignment with your vision, would go a long way to carrying you to where you want to go. The DISC as a communications tool is a very key and critical means of identifying the best way to communicate with different people in the way that they want to be communicated to.
Great. Well said. Well said. Hugh, how about you?
I would like to actually start by asking Shey a question, if she doesn't mind.
Sure.
I imagine that there's many in the audience, and myself included. Could you first just explain a little bit more what is clawback, and how is that then? How would that affect both the employee and you as the manager, and then of course the business?
Sure. What a clawback is one of the many things that we do for families is to, help them with insurance. And when we do help a family with that, the company, in good faith, pays us up front. So if somebody is doing bad business, or a client, for whatever reason, changes their mind within a certain period of time, there's a clawback. So, they pay us up front even before that insurance is paid for. Does that make sense? So
yes.
Okay. If for some reason somebody decides, I don't want this now, whatever, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, it happens, right? Then there's that clawback. on that
Okay.
portion of our business, on that page.
Okay, then am I to understand one of the challenges that you have as a manager, and I imagine managers throughout your organization have, is in how do you manage and lead your employees and help them, in other words, overcome. That's obviously a negative, certainly would feel negative if I was an employee, and that means a reduction in my income, does it not?
Well, you're paid that before, like I say, before the client actually pays it. With proper education, teaching, plugging into the office, learning, growing, we don't see a lot of that. It doesn't. It's not a regular occurrence, but it happens.
Okay. Now, I received a little bit of information earlier from John. So, John, maybe I'm jumping the gun here. So, would you like us to assist in a certain constraint that Shey has right now, or?
Well, I think the constraint today really was overcoming the mental mindset. Like,
Okay.
how do you keep going forward in the face of this this really negative occurrence that sometimes does happen? Does that make sense?
What does going forward look like?
What does it look like?
Well, I was sharing with John in our business, I always say, you're one recruit away from an explosion, meaning that, if you're going to let something kick you out of this business, any business for that matter, it doesn't matter. We all have issues in business, right? And so if you're going to let something bump you out, you might be missing that opportunity right around the corner. That
Right.
great person that's you're about to meet, or that's coming your way, right? And that's, I think, where it's at is, people are faced with maybe not just the clawback. It could be anything, right? I mean, my mom told me I'm an idiot for doing something like that. Whatever it is. And what's that mental attitude going forward? Because it doesn't matter where you are, what you do, what company you're with. It doesn't matter. There's going to be naysayers and negative things happen. And so, not letting that bump you out. And unfortunately, for a lot of new people, they will allow the little things like that to bump them out of business. And you're right, John. What is that mental attitude going forward? When that little clawback happens, when your mom says you're a goofball, when something happens to you, how do you move forward?
Right. And I would suggest, thinking about that victim slide that we had on, if you are below the line, as we've talked about, you're going to miss those opportunities.
Right.
That potential one recruit that could make everything explode.
Right. I love that
way.
slide. It's fantastic.
Right?
Yeah, fantastic. And I love keeping it on your wall, even for me.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to allow myself to come below that line and to be aware. It's that awareness of that. It's fantastic, really fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. And for all the Primerica agents, the representatives out there, this is vitally important. Be like Shey, keep above the line. Okay. Coach, is anything more that we can delve into here?
I just wanted to ask a quick question about the perseverance and resiliency. How do you build that within your team and your organization?
That's a good question. How do I build that? You know what? I was taught good, sound principles from the leaders in Primerica that you love on your people and you believe in your people. This is a people business. This is a relationship business. And if our team knows we love them and believe in them, I think they're open for coachability and open for change and open to be, have this stuff brought to their attention. And so, how do I try and, we have people come, we have people go, and that's business, any business. And we just try to really coach, love on, believe in our people while they're there, and that to me is my foundation for my business. Is that the belief and the the caring. They really are. Every person is absolutely incredibly wonderful until they prove me wrong. You know what I mean? and believing in them 100%. Coaching. We have an open door policy. I mean, they can come and chat with us at any time about anything. Our phone rings 24/7. We are always there to coach and help, and that's why you were so valuable to me, John. Is you were a good mentor to me of how to be a good coach, and valuable stuff. But that's my that's for me. That's what we do. It's just that open door, being coaching and really loving and believing in everybody.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Hugh, anything more, and then we'll get into our action items.
Yeah. I will try to be succinct as possible. Shey, you touched on something that is really key, and if this is throughout your organization, you guys are no doubt, that's one of the reasons why you're doing well. And that is, I don't know if you're familiar with, there was an interesting book written by Daniel Coleman, I believe, on the primal leadership styles. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But there's 6 main, let's call them management styles. I mean, your issue is, one, you want to have good people who can stay as victors as much as possible and recognize that. And the second is that as an organization, you want your managers to be able to lead and guide your people in the most optimum way possible. The thing is that not all of us are trained to lead and manage people in a way that is as effective as possible. And Gallup even did a really neat study and determined that of all the different management leadership styles, such as visionary or commanding or democratic or even the affiliative, which is, I'm just going to be everyone's buddy. The most effective one, the one that got the highest return on investment, was the coaching style. But the coaching style, as you probably have learned from John, is not necessarily a natural one for most managers. And I just wanted to sort of lead into that the more you have in your organization, we actually have within our organization a program called Navigational Coaching, where we actually teach and assist managers to use the coaching process to help employees overcome exactly some of these issues, clawback or whatever they have, so that they will learn for themselves that it's much better to be a victor instead of just telling them to be a victor. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And, I am blessed. You had said it yourself, that the company is, the coaching that we receive from the top down is always that, to coach, love, and believe in your people. But I love, we're all about growing, and I absolutely love that victor-victim, and what you've brought to us, John, again, has just been absolutely so incredibly valuable. And this today, thank you guys for your input. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Coaches, thanks. I think that was great. The navigational coaching concept, it starts with a 2-day workshop, and if we're to provide these leadership skills to every single representative within Primerica, I mean, that's going to help in their coaching when they're talking to their prospects and clients. Right. Because really, it's about identifying the gap of where you are now, where you want to get to. But we can certainly talk more about that offline. Evan, could I get you to cue up the Take Action Now slide? There it is. Perfect. So we talked about a couple of things today, a couple of tools. One being the DISC assessment, which is the behavioral assessment. It's a key tool in learning how to communicate properly with the other behavioral styles. I know Shey and Cal had a lot of... Cal is her husband, by the way. He's also in the business. He's in the room. You don't know that as a viewer, but that's okay. But they use it a lot. And so we're going to provide a special opportunity for the people watching today. Regular price of that is $197. Your price today, $97. another individual product which relates to what we were talking about with the KRIs, the KPIs, is a financial report on your industry. Any industry that's an NAICS coded industry can get one of these reports. It's huge value. Basically, we're going to go at half price today. And within that financial report also, I'd just like to say, are a lot of KRIs that you could potentially use. So there you go. Now, the coaches and I have agreed again, a one-time 30-minute, no-obligation, pure entrepreneurial call with the coach of your choice. So that's a value of $250 for free. So just contact me and let me know who you'd like to talk to for half an hour. Be the best half hour that you've spent in the last 5 years. Okay, and then we've bundled it up. Basically, you get the disc assessment, financial report for $197. Okay, and there's a link. All this technical jargon, Evan, I'm not used to it. There's a link. It's HTTP bit blah blah blah. Anyway, we'll move. Okay, is that about close? Okay, and we'll leave that up again afterwards. Now, something that came to my head last night. And here's what the coaches and I would like to offer today. It's a Primerica exclusive. It's online group coaching offer. And what we're looking at is a bi-weekly schedule. So we all convene online through webinar for an hour. It'll go through all of the FocalPoint material. It'll be an interactive forum. Every session will be recorded so that none of the representatives have to worry about missing anything. They'll have the link always. They'll be able to go back to it and take the course. So tell all of your colleagues about this, because this is huge value. And what we're looking at for the first 100 reps that sign up for this particular program, they get a free disc assessment, which is huge value. And we're looking at only $247 per month.
Wow!
Don't you wish I charged you only $247 per month?
That is fantastic.
Okay, and we'll based on the volume, this is probably something that the coaches and I will have to share. I'm certain of it. Start date and time to be determined. So, but I'm thinking sometime within May we'll have to start this. So again, go to that link to register, and if you want to hold that up there, Evan, if you can. Okay, perfect. We'll just start to wrap up. Shey Hennig, thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It
was wonderful. I think this is a huge value for all of your colleagues to learn. Just that victim alone is certainly worth printing off, putting it on your wall, just to keep you aware of where you should be above the line, because that's where positive things happen. Yeah. Also, thanks to our panel of coaches, Mark Lindsay. Thank you for some great comments.
Yeah, thank you.
And Hugh Taffel, thanks again for filling in. Hugh was a last-minute addition. We had a coach that couldn't make it today. So thanks, Hugh, for being there for us.
Not a problem. You're more than welcome. And as you can see, even though it's a bright, sunny sky here in the mountains, my image before you weren't able to get, who knows what happens out of Canmore that you can't get video, but Shey, we're very good to meet you through this channel, and I wish you all the best in whatever you do. I'm sure you're going to do phenomenal.
Oh, thank you, and likewise.
And she is already, so happy to say that. So next week we're going to be talking about determining your starting point, and we're going to go through a great process called diamond mapping. It's going to focus on the 4 key areas of your life: where you are right now, where you want to be. We'll have another in-studio guest. So make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. Mountain Time next Wednesday for FocalPoint, bringing business and success into focus. My name is John Cutler, and on behalf of Shey Hennig and our guest coaches, thanks for tuning in.